All right, good morning. So today we're going to review a little bit of the midpoint formula. So in case you forget what that is, basically the midpoint formula just helps us find the point that is halfway in between our 2 points. Okay, so if we add the two x values together, divide by 2, add the two y values together, divide by 2, we'll find that midpoint. Now, hopefully you remember that midpoint is equal distant from both of the endpoints. Okay. Now, on example 1 here, it says find a line that is the perpendicular bisector to the segment formed by the point 39 and 513. So, perpendicular bisector means it forms a perpendicular angle, it's perpendicular line, and bisector means it cuts through the middle, right? Bisector, two equal parts on each side. So it has to go through the middle, which is also known as our midpoint. Okay. Now, in addition to this formula for the midpoint, we already have talked about, we have our three formulas, y equals mx plus b. It's our point slope form. Slope intercept form, I misspoke. Then we also have our slope formula, which is just y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. And then finally we have our point slope formula. All right, so if we have our points here, 3, 9, and 5, 13, we need to figure out a couple things. One, we need to find the midpoint. We also need to find what is the slope. Okay, so to find the midpoint, all we have to do, add our x values together, divide by 2, add our y values together, and divide by 2. So if we think about it, two x values, 3 plus 5, divide that by 2. Our two y values are 9 and 13. We can divide that by 2. So 3 plus 5 is 8, divided by 2 will leave us with 4. Meanwhile, 9 plus 13 is 22, divided by 2 leaves us with 11. That is the point it will have to go through. Now, we also need to find the slope of these 2 points. So the slope, y2 minus y1, all over x2 minus x1. So 4 over 2, which hopefully you know reduces to 2. Now that is not our slope. That is the slope of the original segment. If we are looking for a perpendicular line to that, the opposite reciprocal is what we need. So the opposite reciprocal of 2, opposite makes it negative. The reciprocal is 1/2. Okay, so we'll plug that into our formula now. Up here, we have a point and a slope, so we'll use point slope formula. Y minus 11 equals that negative 1/2 goes here times x minus the 4. So we distribute, y minus 11 is still here, negative 1/2 x plus 2, because we know a negative times a negative is positive. Half of 4 is 2. Okay, all we got to do now is add 11 to both sides, and we get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 13. So if I were you, maybe pause the video and try this next one on your own. It is up to you, I guess. I can't force you to pause it, but I would like you to try that. So find your midpoint. Once again, we add the x values. Divide by 2. Add the y values and divide by 2. 1 plus negative 5 is negative 4 divided by 2. So we will have negative 2. 6 plus 12 is 18 divided by 2 gives us 9. There's our point it'll go through. And we also need our slope again. So to find the slope, y minus y1, or y2 minus y1, and x2 minus x1. 12 minus 6 is 6. Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. So that will reduce to negative 1. Now the opposite reciprocal of that will just be positive 1. So our slope is 1. All we have to do now, y minus 9 equals 1 times x minus negative 2, which is the same as plus 2. And we're good. Okay, we'll do one more together here. So once again, find the slope and the midpoint. So to do this, add our x's, 7 plus 5 divided by 2 And our y is negative 2 plus negative 8 divided by 2. So that'll be 12 divided by 2, which is 6. And negative 10 divided by 2, which will be negative 5. Now to find our slope. Negative 8 minus a negative 2, which is the same as plus. So we'll get negative 6. Meanwhile, we'll have 5 minus 7, which is negative 2. This will reduce to just 3. Opposite reciprocal of that is negative 1/3. So now y minus negative 5 equals negative 1/3 times x minus 6. So that'll be the same as y plus 5 equals negative 1/3 x. Negative times a negative is positive. 1/3 of 6 is 2, if you're not sure how we got that. So negative 1/3 times negative 6, which is over 1. That'll be 6 over 3, which reduces to 2. Okay, all we got to do now is subtract the 5. So y equals negative 1/3 x minus 3. That is all for today. Hope you guys have a good day. If you have any questions, please let me know. Talk to you later.